What is going on, happy people? Today, we're talking about one thing and one thing only. Turkey hunting. Actually, we're going to talk about one thing else. Look, turkey season's coming up here. And we've been scouting already. And I know a lot of you guys are like, hey, dude, it's middle of March. Well, turkey season opens up middle of April here in Minnesota. So we've been scouting. About 2 hours south of here, we found about 30 turkeys. Bunch of them big toms, a lot of them are little jakes. But we got a group of guys that are going to go down and hunt down in southern Minnesota. But I'm scouting around here where I live because I'm going to hunt their opener. If I'm not successful, I'm archery hunting. The reason that we're bow hunting is that shotgun season, you get 1 week. And I got a lot going on. I'm not going to be able to get out much during the week, so weekends are going to be my time. I'm gonna bow hunt so I can hunt every weekend through the whole season. One thing I want to talk about. Okay, when you see all these guys that go out and they shoot these big bucks, they're always shooting. You know, they're shooting ducks, they're on geese, they're shooting big turkeys. They do a lot of the scouting ahead of time. It is, like I said, middle of March, and I'm already scouting. Now, toms are not responding to calls yet. I would say, you know, about April 5th. In that time frame they will. Season here in Minnesota, I believe, opens up April 13th. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's when it opens up. So, anyways, they're not responding to calls, but it's nice to go out and kind of see where they're at. Turkeys are a really hard bird to pattern because it's not only, you know, they're not only pressured during hunting season by us, they live like the worst life. They're a predator's dream. I mean, they are prey for coyotes, wolves, you know, maybe some foxes, I don't know, but they are a predator's wet dream when it comes to an easy meal. And their life expectancy is like 3 to 4 years. So anyways, they're always looking over their shoulder. Anything, and it's not just hunters, but anything that bumps them off of where they're at, they change their pattern. They're really, really difficult to pattern. So I like to start scouting early so I can know, hey, okay, I've seen this group here, and I don't even really care if because they're all grouped up. So it's not about, you know, seeing toms specifically or seeing only toms. I just want to know where the turkeys are. I use Onyx. I take my Onyx app, I mark the date that I saw them, where I saw them, and the time. And then that way, kind of as I'm getting my plan together for hunting, I can kind of see, okay, here's where I've seen them, here's the times I've been out in this field or in, you know, whatever. But I want to be able to have that documented so that I know that when I'm making my game plan that I've got a good plan put together. But you have to put the time in to do the scouting. And honestly, it's not that hard to scout turkeys. It's not hard to scout anything. It's just time. So put the time in. One thing I want to do though, I'm going to give you guys a little hint. A little bit of a hint here. Duck season doesn't open up for a while. We're actually closer to the end of last duck season and to the beginning of the new one. But I've been scheming. I've been planning. I'm going to give you guys a hint for what's coming up here. I just gave it away, I think. But yes, that is correct. We are building a mud motor for the duck boat. I am going to upload that video soon. It's here. Everything's here. I got the motor built. We are going to walk you through how I build it. You know, we're going to build it according to the directions. We got to break in the motor though, and then I'm going to use it all fishing. I'm going to leave it on the boat and I'm going to fish in it. That way it's fully broken in. I mean, the break-in cycle on these motors is not a lot, but I want to make sure I use it during fishing, especially like open water, you know, like in the summer, so that we're ready for duck season. We've got it all fine-tuned, and then we're just going to rip it right through. You know, we're going to be able to rip right through whatever we want. So anyways, that being said, let's get into some of my methods for turkey hunting. My methods for turkey hunting is what works for me. It's just things I've learned over the years. It's not an end all, like this is how you have, you know. It just, there's things that work for everybody else, but this is what has worked for me. So kind of establishing how turkeys behave through the season. The first few weeks, they haven't established any kind of dominance. They don't have that pecking order established. So even these young jakes, they're going to be very hot on hens. because they haven't had this big tom to come by and say, hey, buddy, these are mine. Trust me, when they get their ass kicked enough, they really back off, and that kind of happens towards later on in the season. But right away at the beginning of the season, and really the first week, I would say isn't it's not bad by any means, but I like really the second and the third and the fourth week. You know, they're still establishing dominance. They're still looking for hot hens, so it is kind of nice to hunt those earlier weeks. Bow hunting, that's why I like bow hunting, because like I said, you can just hunt the whole season. Shotgun in Minnesota, like I said, you get a week. So I'm going to be bow hunting. But early season, what I like to do is I really like to do my scouting ahead of time, like I said, and find where they're roosting. If you find where they're roosting, you can kind of get yourself in to 200, 100 yards away. Get in about an hour or two before sunlight, because you don't want these turkeys dictating what they do off the roost by something that happens that by being either hearing or seeing you, 10 or 15 minutes before they get off the roost. So get out there plenty early. But what I do before, right before the sun comes up, I'll let the turkeys know that are on the roost that there is a hen on the ground, off the roost, just hanging out. I'm not calling aggressively. I'm not trying to say, hey, over here, come. I'm just letting them know, hey, there's a hen over here. So I'll give them just an example. And this, I use diaphragm calls. Nothing against box calls or slate calls. They work great. I just like the hands-free aspect of a diaphragm call. So I'll give I'll give them a little call in the morning. I'll give them a little something like this. Real light. And that honestly is probably too much. What I just did there is probably too much, but I just want to reiterate how light of a call it is. So they just, in the early morning, it's so quiet. They can hear you. They just know, okay, there's a hen over there. Not saying they're going to come to you. They may not. They may decide to get off the roost and go somewhere else. But they just, at least they know. Then as daylight, as the sun's up, and the toms and the jakes are off the roost, then I try to get some gobbles back. Some people will use like an owl call to get them to shock gobble while they're on the roost or right as they get down, and that's not a bad thing. I personally don't do that, but hey, I think it's nice to know where they're at in relation to you right away in the morning. So, but when they get down off the roost, that's when I'll be looking to get a gobble back. So I'll give them a little something. I got. When I get that, if you get a gobble back, what a lot of people do that is incorrect, because you get excited, you hear a tom gobble, or even if you hear a group of them gobble, because a lot of times if they're bunched up, one gobbles, they all just shock gobble, and then you hear 10 toms or even a mixture, whatever, you hear 10 gobbles and you get really excited. Well, a lot of people will just call back because they want to engage. They want to keep that conversation going. There's this back and forth where they will keep answering your calls. They will, because a lot of times it's not even necessarily that they're interested in you. It's just they hear a hen call and they gobble back. However, the problem is that in nature, toms do not go to hens. The hens go to the toms. So if you're in this continuous back and forth, you're gonna lose the tom, because he's gonna say this hot hen is coming towards me, and he's gonna go to his feeding area. He's gonna go, if he's going to loaf, he's gonna go to. He doesn't have a reason to go to you. So what I do is when I get him to answer the call, a lot of times, like I said, especially in early season, I'll stop, and then the tom is kind of sitting there, and. A lot of times you hear them gobble again. Where are you? And just don't. It's kind of like, this is terrible dating advice for real life, but if you were dating a tom and you wanted to keep his attention, that's what I think about. You're dating this animal. Piss him off. Give him a little something, and then stop. And he's gonna say, why isn't she calling me back? Why isn't she calling me back? And then he's gonna start working his way, and you should start hearing gobbles getting closer to you. Now you want to keep giving him something to hold on to. So every few times he gobbles, give him something like, "Hey, I'm still over here." But you don't have to answer him every time he gobbles, because it gives him no incentive to move to you. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to flip nature, where normally the hen goes to the tom. You're trying to flip that so he moves to you. So anyways, When I finally get him in sight, a lot of times they'll see your decoy setup before you see them, because they'll find a high point or a tree line, and they'll be peeking out. You want them to see your decoys. When he comes out and you see him, that's when I really start to call softly, if I do call. If he's beelining towards the decoys, the way I set up my decoys, I'll do a hen on the ground, I'll do a jake behind, fanned, and then I'll do another hen just kind of standing off 5-10 yards away, just feeding, or whatever, just standing there. I found that if I see him come right in towards that jake, there's no reason to even call. He's going to give you a shot. Now, if he's kind of being hesitant, I'll give him a little bit of soft stuff just to get him to come in. But when he gets within shooting range, if you're shotgun hunting, shoot him in the head. Shoot him in the head. Done. If you're bow hunting, what I like to do is get him not broadside. Get him where he's facing you. You can shoot him right at the base of the neck, right here. I mean, some guys go for headshots, and the head is this big. If you can hit that, great. And I'm not knocking. I'm not saying that's a wrong thing to do. I'm just saying, if he's facing you, I like to shoot him at the base of the neck. It's a larger area to hit. You're gonna get a good clean kill. Or if he's facing away from you, you can shoot him right up the ass. Those are the two ways that I like to kill turkeys. Yeah, it's cool when you see people just lop heads off. I'm not saying that that's wrong. Like I said, this is the way I do it. I like to get quick, clean kills that I know I don't want to miss. I don't want to have to worry about, trying to put another arrow in. I just want one shot, good, clean kill, and over. But right before you shoot, this is why I like diaphragm calls. Because you have your arrow drawn, your bow drawn. Just give him a little chuck, because he'll stick his head up. Even if he's facing you, he'll stick his head up, and he exposes here. If you shoot him up the ass, it probably doesn't matter. But I just like to, it gets him to stop. It gets him to look up, and they're just kind of like, what's going on? Just give him a little bit of like a, and he'll look up and be like, because if he's in your decoys, he'll be like, there's another hen. You're 20 yards away or 15 yards away, whatever it is. Then you take your shot. That's just kind of how I do things. It's not, like I said, it's not an end-all be-all. It's just my turkey hunting methods. In a nutshell, I thought it'd be a good time to do this video with turkey season coming up here in the next month. Good luck to all you guys that are going out hunting. Turkey hunting is different in a way where, it's nice that you get to hunt in the spring still when all the other seasons are closed. But you get this game of, you're like dating this turkey, you're dating this tom, and you're trying to get him to come in, and then when you finally get your kill shot, it's like, I beat you. It's very much so I love turkey hunting for that aspect. I like duck hunting and goose hunting is similar, don't get me wrong, but it's just such a, you're flipping nature in such a good way, and it's like just a good feeling of being able to beat that tom. So seriously guys, good luck. For how stupid people think turkeys are, they're really not easy to hunt. It's a hell of a time. They're very good to eat, good source of a lot of meat for the family, and it's all about having a good time. So be safe. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys want more stuff. Like I said, I will be posting the mud build video soon. Everything's here and ready to go. I just have to dedicate, the time to get. Like I said, I got to break in the motor and actually build it, and we're gonna leave it on for fishing season, so it's ready to go for duck season. But that's all I got, guys. Like I said, good luck turkey hunting. If you're not, you should seriously try it, because it is a good time. And what else are you gonna do in the spring? So anyways, guys, like I said, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.